I spent over $100 on rail covers, a light bar, and a hand stop. And here's my take as to whether that was worth it. The NEOMAG RIGS system has a super awesome benefit that I didn't see coming when I first installed the rail covers specifically. I'll get to that near the end. You're actually gonna see some pretty cool stuff, and it's easier to show and tell, I think. First of all, if you don't know what RIGS means, it's Rifle Integrated Grip System. I'm sort of assuming that if you're watching this video, likely you know what it means and you're considering whether or not this system makes sense for your build. The name I have found to be totally accurate. It is a system and these things do work very well together. I'm super pleased with them. I have 2 rail covers and a hand stop. Those are in olive drab green, so ODG. And then I got the light bar, which they only offer in black. Boo. That's right. All these things integrated really well into my Victor VK1 11.5-inch pistol setup here. This system was important for me because I wanted some cable management. I wanted to get my light further out near the end of my suppressor, and I wanted a hand stop to be able to index where my grip was on the pistol. And I'm gonna get to why all those things matter for me in just a second here. Really, on a platform that has a specific purpose like this pistol, which is homestead defense, I needed one system that was gonna do everything well, and I've been super pleased with the RIGS setup so far, just to be totally honest. Let's get into why. One of my favorite things about this system is the light bar. In fact, the light bar, when they launched that, is the reason I bought the rest of the RIGS parts. At the end of the day, there's 2 benefits the light bar offers, and I wanted both. I wanted my light 2 inches more forward towards the end of the suppressor, which obviously helps you get more of the light past the suppressor so you don't have that huge awkward suppressor shadow. And it also opens up space on my rail. Now, the VK1 has a decently long handguard. It's not the shortest thing ever, but the previous iteration of this was already getting cramped with the Raid light, about back here. And then, I had my remote switch and I was putting a hand stop and different things. So I was like, yeah, that light bar is really gonna get the Raid off my rail. And that's gonna make it significantly easier for me to put other things on the rail without worrying about real estate. Why this matters so much is because I've got this remote switch for the Raid here, and I've got the cable management stuff here, and I've got the hand stop, and I like the light forward, and all that kind of adds up to, this is the gun that I grab to go chase coyotes with my dog when they're trying to attack my chickens and turkeys and ducks. And I wanted one robust system that was gonna just fill all the needs I had for kind of the front portion of the pistol on the rail here. And the light bar, when that came out, I was like, yep, need that. That's why I bought all the rest of the pieces so that I would have one cohesive system. So before I keep going, if you want more content like this, please consider subscribing. I do a lot of videos like this on firearms and hunting and outdoors gear, and you can see more of that stuff if you subscribe to my channel. Thank you. One other thing I want to talk about is the hand stop. I put the hand stop pretty much as close to the mag well as I can get it. There's still a fair bit of space there, but the reason I have it all the way back here is because it's kind of just an index point for my hand. When I'm grabbing the rail, I want my thumb to land on the pressure switch. Not that I'm activating it every time, but with my natural hand placement there, my thumb kind of sits just a touch off the front of the pressure switch here. That makes it super easy to activate that pressure switch if I need the light on, especially when I'm running out the door chasing coyotes. The last thing I really want to be thinking about is whether or not I've got the right grip to activate that light when I need it. And having the hand stop here is the perfect index point. One thing I will say about the rail covers is they work really well, but they do make the handguard a touch beefy. And I've got actually really small hands. I always say, God, grab my hands from the girls' bin. I did find that took a moment to get used to because it was suddenly a lot girthier than I was used to, but it was okay. I think the trade-off of getting more grip and traction and cable management was worth it. It's just something you should think about if you got really small hands like me, or you're a female or a younger shooter. So because I use this pistol for homestead defense, the way I have it set up here matters an awful lot to me. The light is extremely important, where the remote sits, where the hand stop sits, the rail covers, all those things are important. But also when I train on the range, that stuff matters too, because you want to train, with the same setup by which you actually would use if you were, whatever use your rifle or pistol is going to be. So I really like on the range that this whole setup kind of works well together. I've got the NEOMAG Sentry strap here and a Magpul light sling, which I also got from the NEOMAG. And those things are nicely out of the way. And when I'm running out the door to shoot at animals, frankly, I don't even deploy the sling. I just like, as you can see, it's not in the way. I can just grab the rifle and be going. But on the range, I like to have the sling deployed and I like to have it hanging off my shoulders. And the Sentry strap makes it super easy to do that. The one cool benefit that I did not see coming, just to kind of like answer the question you've probably been hanging on to the whole time, is the rail covers have actually provided a decent amount of like heat resistance when I'm shooting fast for a long time. This piston system gets pretty hot pretty quick. And I noticed when I put the rail covers on, I was able to grip it and rip it longer before my hand started getting ridiculously hot. Some of the footage you're gonna see by the end, my hand is definitely like barely hanging on. That was sort of just, I would like to put some extra oomph through this and just get some reps shooting faster. The suppressor wrap was basically like almost on fire, so that was kind of fun. Anyway, the rail protectors, the rail covers there, they do a pretty good job of dissipating heat, and shielding your hand from heat, which is cool. So I didn't see that benefit coming. That's something obviously plastic is never going to get you. At the end of the day, I spent about 110 bucks for this whole system. And the big question here is it worth it? You could do essentially that for like 20 bucks and some zip ties with a couple cheap polymer products. That wasn't what I was looking for on this build. I like the NEOMAG guys quite a bit. I've met Greg a number of times in person. He's always been super helpful to me as an industry friend, and I look up to him quite a bit. And I'm really proud of what he has built over the many years that I have followed the NEOMAG. I was already interested in the rig system, but when the light bar got added to it, I knew that was when I jumped in, and Greg actually messaged me and was like, hey dude, I don't know if you know this, but like you're the first person to order the light bar ever. And I'm like, yes, cool. So to me, the 110 bucks was worth it. If you want a premium setup that's gonna give you a little bit of benefit beyond what polymer does, it makes a lot of sense. No matter what light bar you get, it will not be cheap, right? You cannot, for 20 bucks, add a light bar that moves your light forward 2 inches. So that would be, expensive anyway, but the rest of this stuff you could use plastic for. But again, that was not the goal of this build. That was not what I was trying to accomplish here. If you are a firearms hunting or outdoors brand and you actually want your products reviewed by someone who actually uses them, there's a link in my description. Go click that link. You can fill out a little form. You can learn more about how I handle reviews, and we can see if it makes sense to work together. So to put a bow on this, I love the rig system. I think it's a fantastic product. Everything works well together. The light bar is absolutely my favorite part. The light bar is absolutely my favorite part, but also I think the sum of the whole is fantastic. To me, it was worth about 110 bucks. I think that was a no-brainer. To you, you'll have to decide if that makes sense for your build. I hope I've laid out clearly why it benefits me and what I like about it, and that will help you make a better decision. If you're looking for a full breakdown on the VK1 itself, you can click the video at the end of this video that's linked there and watch that. This is a sick little 11.5-inch pistol that I am super pleased to be running, and you can stay tuned on everything that I'm doing with that by watching that video.